Hey, what's up guys? It's been a while. So I wanted to do a little decode on the Bible. I know there's a lot of craziness going on in the world and everyone's saying like, oh yeah, the world's gonna end and you know, it's Revelations time and all that. So let's do a breakdown of Revelations, and I want to talk about the mark of the beast, what it means, how to survive, how to get through these times. And guys, keep an open mind, all right? This is going to be probably information that you've never heard before, but this is coming from the other side of the veil, so stick with me. Let's have some fun. So to start with, Revelations 13:18 says, "This calls for wisdom. Let the person who has insight calculate the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man." All right. Let's do a little homework here. Okay, so you have the beast to start with, and this says it is the number of a man, but the beast itself isn't necessarily the 666. Okay, but the beast does have to line up with that number. But there are other beasts within society. What is the ultimate beast that we're all trying to run away from? Well, from what I see in the Bible is the newer versions of the Bible type out 666 altogether. The original iteration of this, whether it be from the Torah or the early Greek or Ethiopian versions of the Bible, because the Bible originally came from Africa. This is not a European religion, guys. They stole it. Okay, they typed it out. It was 666. All right, and we know it says right here, calculate. Now, a lot of the things in the Bible come from other religions. There's a golden strand of truth that goes throughout all religions. And so how am I going to calculate this number? Well, I'm going to go back to the Torah, and they have Gematria. Now, in Gematria, it only counts the numbers 1 through 9. All right, zeros don't exist. So the way I'm seeing this is 660 and 6. You cut the zeros, and you're left with 666. 6 plus 6 plus 6 equals 18. 18 added together is 9. 9 is the number of completion. So the person and the people who understand this truth and are able to share it, most likely are going to be 9 life paths. If you multiply any number by 9 and you add that result, so 2 times 9, 18. 8 plus 1 equals 9. 3 times 9, 27. 2 plus 7, 9. All right? You can do that indefinitely, and you always end up with a 9. Okay? So it's the number of completion. And the way that I like to see it in the esoteric sense is a 9 life path, a person that is a 9, works well with everybody. They're a chameleon type personality. They're very gregarious. They're able to get along with damn near everyone, and they can bring the best out of everyone. But I'm not going to glaze myself too much, all right? We're not doing that here. So, what do I know the beast to be? I think that it's time. The reason for this is our time structure that we have is based off of seconds, minutes, and hours, okay? Now, stay with me here. 60 seconds, chop the 0 off, you get a 6. 60 minutes, chop the 0 off, you get a 6. There's 24 hours in the day. 2 plus 4, you get a 6. And why would this be the number of the beast? Okay? Let's read back and kind of see what is this whole beast nonsense about? Like, what are they sort of looking for? And yeah, I mean, just looking through the book, it doesn't tell you too much. All right, it's very vague. Most of it's symbolism, and it seems like it might have to do with something happening in the future. A lot of people thought the 666 originally back in the day was supposed to represent Nero. He was one of the emperors, and if you took his name, you'd get 666 using Hebrew Gematria. And the way that works is each number is assigned not each number, each letter is assigned a number, and then based off your name, you add all those numbers up, and he came out to 666, which is very interesting. Very interesting. But the reason I think it's time is because time in itself is timeless. What I mean by that is emperors that are pieces of shit come and go. All right, bad people that could be the mark of the beast can come and go. We have to understand that throughout eternity, right? This is a text that is supposed to be given to us by the Creator, right? Supposedly. So we have to think from a more zoomed out perspective of what is the all-consuming aberration that challenges God. So God in of itself, he is unity, he is connection, he is together. The number one thing that destroys that would be time, because time is the all never-ending consuming aberration. The second you're born, that's when you start to die. Right? It's a little fucked up, but the clock starts the second you're born. Everything goes into decay. So how can we fight against this state of decay? How can we escape this beast? And also, how do I even know that the 666, because I also have to make sure it matches the number of a man. Well, man, as we know, organic life forms, there's one thing they all have in common: carbon. Carbon is the sixth element on the periodic table. It has 6 protons, 6 neutrons, 6 electrons. 666. Okay. So the number of the man has to match what the beast is, not necessarily the same thing, right? That's what it said there. So just because I can get the 666 out of time and get 666 out of man doesn't necessarily mean that the beast in of itself has to be a particular man. There can be multiple beasts, and the way I see the beasts are these are people or places or things that are going to make a huge shocking impact into humanity, whether it be good or whether it be bad. Sometimes it goes both ways. All right, but the times we find ourselves right now kind of seem a little end-timey. And that's kind of what I want to get into on the backside. This is where we're going to get a little crazy. All right? And let me read some of this, and we'll see if any of this makes sense. Okay? So this is the first beast that I'm going to be reading about right now. I'm going at 13:5 if you guys want to read along. And the beast was given a mouth, uttering haughty and blasphemous words. And it was allowed to exercise authority for 42 months. That is a very, very important. 42 months. I put that up here. All right. It opened its mouth to utter blasphemies against God, blaspheming his name and his dwelling, that is, those who dwell in heaven. Also it was allowed to make war on the saints and to conquer them, and authority was given it over every tribe and people and language and nation. And all who dwell on earth will worship it, and everyone whose name has not been written before the foundation of the world in the book of life of the Lamb who was slain. If anyone has an ear, let him hear. If anyone is to be taken captive, to captivity he goes. If anyone is to be slain with the sword must he be slain. All right. So my interpretation of that, the first thing that stuck out to me is 42 months. Okay. And the blaspheming of the Bible, right? Or God in this sense. So I'm thinking, okay, somebody swore on the Bible because you have to swear on it or believe that you are of the faith and then stand against it. That's blasphemy. All right? So who would be in power for 42 months blaspheming the Bible, and they're kind of bringing about the end times? Well, this is Joe Biden. Now, guys, this is not a political video, okay? We're just pointing out some of this weird stuff because it kind of makes sense. When did Biden drop out for re-election? July. Okay? He was in office for how many years? 3. And 6 complete months. 3 years is 36 months plus an extra 6 because you count through June. So that's 42 months. Now, when Joe Biden was sworn in, he was sworn in on the Bible. Well, I'm pretty sure there's parts of the Bible that say, hey, you probably shouldn't have an abortion. You shouldn't have sex outside of the sanctity of marriage. There's a lot of things that he stands with that is in opposition of what he swore himself on. Coincidence? Who knows? Open mind. We're thinking here. We're thinking. That's what the point of this channel is. Don't take my word for it. I don't even fucking care if you guys like me. I want you to do your own thinking. All right? Now, the second part, this gets very interesting. And this is why I think the first one here in this case would be Biden. Because I'm going to skip down to 13:11, the second beast. Then I saw another beast rising out of the earth. It had 2 horns like a lamb, and it spoke like a dragon. By the way, in Chinese astrology, guys, we're in the year of the dragon. Interesting. It exercises all the authority of the first beast in its presence. Okay, so this has to be somebody on the same level as the first beast. So Joe Biden, the second one, I'm thinking might be Kamala. Possibly. Let's see. Let's see if some things start lining up. All right, so all the same presence is represented and makes the earth and its inhabitants worship the first beast, whose mortal wound was healed. Biden dropped out because he couldn't form a complete sentence. And then out of nowhere, on the 4th day of the DNC, he gets glazed by practically all the people in the DNC, and he was talking fine. It's like he was healed. Or maybe, Joe's just been dead for years and he's just a clone, but who fucking knows, right? All right, so let's move on. This is the scary part, because it says, it performs great signs, even making fire come down from heaven to earth in front of people. You guys know exactly what that means. What's going on right now around the world? Are there wars? Okay. So I'm prophesizing that Kamala, in her power and position, may drop fire from the heavens to the earth before the election takes place this year. Because as we know from history, FDR used this, if you get into a war, you can stay in office indefinitely. You don't have to hand it over. So what would somebody do? If you were deep state, right? Again, not political. I'm just looking at everything from a zoomed out perspective. I see through their bullshit. If you start a war, there is now an argument to be made that she is now a wartime president. All right, and she wouldn't have to give up office. That is one thing that could happen. Who knows? But I think we're good on the whole signs of the beast. I'll get into some of the more crazy shit that's going on later with that. But the main reason this one, I want to focus on the 666, and more importantly, how can we escape this? What did the Bible tell us? What did God tell us? How do we sort of segue ourselves through these very trying times? All right. So it says in there that the mark of the beast will come. And this will either be on the forehead or the right hand. Now, when I think of the forehead, I think of human autonomy. I think of your own free will, your own thoughts. Okay, so the mark of the beast in this sense will be the censorship that comes on your free will. We all know what I'm talking about. This is when you bite your tongue and you basically regurgitate an opinion that you don't agree with because you're scared of the consequences that will befall you if you stand against it. But you must stand against it. Otherwise, you will get the mark of the beast. And the right hand. Now, this is the main reason I think the beast would be Kamala, is because the right hand sort of represents God, his authority on man, and how people act through him. Okay? And this would be the devil sort of taking over people and lying to get people to go away from God. Now, what's been happening recently is there's podcasters, there's social media influencers, there's celebrities coming out, and they're saying, hey, I got messages from that campaign saying, we'll pay you X amount of dollars, whatever it is, but you got to say these nice things about the beast. Okay? I'm just going to call that bitch the beast, because she's fucking terrible, and she's also retarded. All right? Anyone that seriously thinks that we're going to get to vote here in November, wake up. Wake up. If our votes mattered, we wouldn't be allowed to do it. Okay? And both parties they're built and constructed by the Freemasons in the first place. Okay? It's just the illusion of choice. we think we have a choice, but really it's just one store with 30 different flavors of soda. It's the one bagel shop with 30 different types of bagels. We think we have choice, but we really don't, okay? So how do we get out of this sort of trapped world, right? The 3D reality, because that's sort of what we're talking about here. 666, you know, when I think of 6, I think of cubes, 6 sides. And then when I think of cubes, I also think of, you know, the Mecca for Islam. I think of maybe the cross. If you were to wrap it up, that creates a cube. And if you invented the z-axis to the Star of David and turn it, it's also a cube. What? That's crazy. So it seems that we're very obsessed with this 3D physical reality and we need to break out of it. Well, God tells us how to do this. And he says it's the 144,000, okay, on Mount Zion with the Lamb. Now, again, we're doing Gematria on this video. I gotta make sure I got enough time here. All right, I got 7 minutes. So I'm gonna take out these zeros, all right? And I get 144. Now, I believe this to be time because the beast itself is time. So you have to serve God a certain amount of the day, all right? Certain amount of time. So 144 with the Lamb. The Lamb is representative of Jesus. Okay, so 144 minutes with Jesus, all right? You see where I'm going here? And what is Mount Zion? Mount Zion is meditation. This is the highest chakra you can go. It's up here. It's in the mind, okay? And he even says, the people, the 144,000, a lot of people like to say it's chosen ones. No. Everyone is chosen if they take the fucking time to be chosen. It's not random. Fucking meditate. Jesus Christ. He wants you to do it. All right? And this is coming straight from source. All right? I don't stutter. I don't stop. You need to start meditating. And you need to stop focusing on the news and the bullshit. Or else you will be subjected heavily to this beast. It is going to get worse, guys. All right, so be aware. Just realize you have to be conscious of this. It seems like I get bothered by it. I'm not bothered. I'm just passionate. All right, nothing phases me because this is what I love doing. I love staring at the evil in the dark and trying to help humanity because you have to have sympathy and empathy for evil if you want to understand why they do what they do. Because you need to know why they do what they do to know how to stop it and how to work against it. All right, back here. Okay. Again, going back to the completion number, 144, add that up, it's 9 again. See, there's so much, everything in the Bible plays into each other. It's insane. All right? Now, this 144, what is my explanation of how do I know this is time, matter of factly? Okay, so we discussed that the beast is time. So how many hours are in a day? 24. How many minutes are in each hour? 60. What's 24 times 60? 1,440. What is 10% of 1,440? Well, it's 144. Interesting. What also did God ask for? What's the tithe? What is the tithe number? 10%. 10%. That's why I said 10% of 1,440. Okay? That's where we're getting it from. So God, in order to be with him, to be immune to the mark of the beast, you must spend 144 minutes with him per day. That is the 10% tithe. It's not going to church every Sunday for 50 minutes and giving them money. Sorry, that's not going to fucking save you. If your feelings are hurt, that's good. Okay? That means we're learning. And if you want some more backup on also kind of why I think maybe some of the religions are related to the others, they made reference to 72 virgins in Islam and the Quran, and I think that's very interesting. It says 72 virgins at night, okay? Well, I mean, you have night and you have the morning, so maybe it's saying 72 minutes at night, 72 minutes in the morning. But 144 total. spent meditating, which is on the inside, not on the outside, with God, with Jesus, connecting back to him. He wants 10% of your time, not 10% of your fucking money. He can snap his fingers and turn the entire universe into gold. You really think he needs your paltry fucking donations? Jesus. Fuck, dude. All right. Takeaways. Everyone that watches this to this point, you must start meditating. And once you start meditating, create a meditation practice. I have other videos for that. I will link those. All right? In that state, you must go inward. It is not important to go outward. This is also in the Bible as well. When you are praying, you are not to be going out and being seen to pray. Okay? That doesn't please him. You need to pray in the closet. Right? And the closet is symbolism for the mind. Right? That's God's house. The God's house has many doors. Well, in your mind, there are many doors to many possibilities and many realities. All you have to do is knock and just realize that God had already prepared the table for you when you go through the door. That's how this game fucking works. Okay. And my takeaways, kind of finishing this off, is eternal versus temporary. If you give into the mark of the beast, that is happiness in the temporary existence that is physical reality, okay? Because they say that you will not be able to buy or sell or trade or do anything. So you're basically going to get ostracized, and it kind of also references that you're most likely going to get hunted down and killed, okay? But you must stand against it and just realize that even those that fall, the first that do will be the first to rise, okay? So do not give in to this beast. Do not give in to the censorship. Do not give in to any of that. You are an eternal being. Your soul is billions of years old and also billions of years into the future. Time and space doesn't actually really exist because it's all relative based off the position of the planets around the stars. So 1 second in one solar system could be 10,000 years somewhere else. So guys, it's not that fucking deep. But here, it is the 666. Time is the 666, and therefore we must tithe the 10%, the 144. Okay? And that's how we reach eternity. This is the way to heaven, the 144 with Jesus on the Mount Zion. That's the meditation in your room. Okay? Duality versus unity, kind of the same as eternity versus, you just kind of live here on this physical shitty plane, okay? And you're saying, oh, we're all separate. I have to have different opinions. No. God wants you to go within to unify yourself with him and to realize that we are all connected. We are all connected. We are all children of his. There is not 144,000 of us. Everyone is capable of it. They just have to give him 10% of the day, okay? So it's more about unity and less about duality. And then it brings into faith versus religion, because based off of what religion you have, you may tithe different, you maybe do different things. But at the end of the day, as long as you have a belief in God and you spend time with him, connected to him in a meditation, you're going to be good. And to live in the correct fashion. And you know what that correct fashion is. Your intuition will tell you guys. All right. I got like 15 seconds left before my camera runs out of video. So I love you guys. Let me know if there's any other interesting parts of the Bible you want me to look into. Sorry I haven't made videos in the last couple days. My back is on fucking fire, dude. All right. Love you guys. Peace.